I know it's all the phone I need. It has everything I would want from a phone. It has a big high-res display with 18:9 aspect ratio and rounded corners. Wait, they aren't really rounded? Oh, and it doesn't have a notch. You know, some people have a thing against that. The reds do suffer a little bit from too much saturation, and there is a problem of pixel burn-in, but it isn't much of an issue, unless you're texting with someone for hours on end. The battery life is decent and it will get you through a day with no worries. Although this may be dependent on your firmware version. I'm still on the Android 7.0, and if that's not enough, you have quick charge through USB-C. The fingerprint located on the back is fast and reliable. The cameras are not your standard portrait mode setup. You have a normal wide angle and a second extra wide angle lens, which can give you some amazing and interesting perspectives. So you can take shots like this, or even this. It does have a bit of a fisheye effect, so keep that in mind. And although the low light isn't the best, if you use manual settings and you know what you're doing, you can get some pretty amazing results. Like this. Audiophiles rejoice! Not only does this camera have a headphone jack, but it also has a hi-fi quad DAC that is even enough to power my big Audio-Technica M40Xs. Although this DAC only comes in some European versions. Storage is more than adequate for my needs. With 64 gigs of RAM, I'm able to store more than enough of music and pictures all on the phone without using an extra memory card. Although, if you wanted to, you could. Now let's talk about the design of the phone. It looks like a premium phone, unless it's beaten up like mine. Then it looks like a beaten up premium phone. But how does it feel in the hand? Well, it's a phone. It can be a little bit slippery even with the skin on, so I would suggest you get a case for it. This phone is also waterproof, however be careful not to dunk it too much into salty water and to rinse it afterwards. I busted my headphone jack like that. And of course we have to talk about performance. The reason I didn't touch up on this earlier is because there's really nothing to talk about. It's fast and it does everything you want it to. It can keep more than a few apps open and it's fast in switching between them. 4 gigs of RAM is plenty. Although I have to say again, this depends on your firmware and in newer versions it may be a little bit slower. And you can even multitask, although I do that very rarely. And finally, the price. You can get this phone used or even refurbished for about $150 or even cheaper if you look around on eBay. All that being said about this phone, what more could you need? You have everything you would want. Great performance, great design, low price, and some nice features. I really don't feel the need to upgrade or even update. Oh, I just realized, I never said the name of the phone. LG G6 version